So today I will be talking about hormones. And in our body, there are two main methods of transmission. One is using the CNS or central nervous system, which is using neurotransmitters and nerve cells, and the other is hormones. Now, hormones are different because hormones are chemical messengers like neurotransmitters, and they're secreted by a system, the endocrine system. However, they are released in the bloodstream and not from cells, not like through cells. So therefore, to actually be affected by this hormone, only cells with specific receptors for that hormone are affected by this hormone secretion. So there are three main types of hormones: steroids, proteins, and amines. Steroids, they are derived from cholesterol cholesterol, and they have a characteristic four-ring structure, which is three hexagonal rings and one pentagonal ring. And from this, we can see that the two sex hormones, estradiol, which is estrogen, and testosterone, are very similar in structure. In fact, they only differ from two groups. There's a double bonded oxygen, and then there's a methyl group right there. And steroids, in terms of testosterone, testosterone is an androgenic steroid, which means that it helps build muscle, and also it promotes male sex characteristics. So, for example, when you see someone take testosterone for hormone therapy, they will start to gain muscle a lot faster than they would if they didn't start the therapy. And for estradiol, mainly it is used for the endometrial lining and also for the development of female sex characteristics. And proteins, these are the second type of hormones, and they're made from short polypeptide chains, so they're made from amino acids. And insulin and glucagon are examples of these. These are secreted by the pancreas from the alpha beta cells and are used to upregulate or deregulate the consumption of glucose. And vasopressin is another example of a protein hormone. It is also called ADH, and which is used to lower or raise. It is used to help the reuptake of water in your cells, and helps with the blood solid concentration. And this is a general structure of vasopressin. And as you can see, it's really complicated and it's really big. So there are many forces in there, and the biggest is the van der Waals force, which makes it, be able to just stay together practically. And the third are amines, and these are just amino acids, mostly tyrosine, with modified side groups. For example, thyroxine, which is released from your thyroid gland, is a tyrosine-derived hormone with 4 iodine groups, right there, the purple groups. And these, which is why the lack of iodine in your diet can cause goiters, which is a swelling of your thyroid gland. Now, there are two different methods of gene expression when it comes to hormones. Since hormones are either lipophilic or lipophobic, these are the two main methods. Lipophilic hormones, like mainly steroids, enter in directly into cells since they're small enough to cross the membrane. And therefore, when they cross into a cell, into a cytoplasm, they bind with a receptor to form a receptor hormone complex that stimulates gene activation and gene expression in the nucleus. And lipophobic ones, like protein messengers, will actually bind to receptors in the surface of the cell, and then these receptors will send signals down to a secondary messenger, which will release another hormone, and then it will activate a gene. So this is actually a lot more complex than this, which is why sometimes it is actually a little slower in gene expression. And then one of the most important glands in our body that has to do with hormones is the pituitary gland. And this includes two lobes, which is the posterior pituitary, which is this one, and anterior pituitary, which is this one. So the posterior pituitary is that part of the pituitary gland, and it's actually relatively simple. There's a neurosecretory cell right here and a blood vessel right there. And so if you use ADH as an example of a hormone secreted by the posterior lobe, it basically ADH is made by a neurosecretory cell, and then through membrane crossing, it just crosses right into the blood vessel and then is diffused into the bloodstream, where other cells that it targets will then express their genes in a different way. Now, the anterior pituitary works in a different way. There's for example, LH and FSH, which are two hormones involved in the menstrual cycle. The neurosecretory cell actually, instead of releasing LH and FSH directly, they will release a releasing factor called gonadotropin releasing hormone, or GnRH for short, which stimulates the production of LH and FSH in the endocrine cells in the anterior lobe, and then it goes into your bloodstream, which is different. And thank you.